Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob Has a Podcast. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and we are here tonight to talk about this Wednesday night veto episode of Big Brother Canada 11, an emotional veto ceremony to talk about, and quite a lot of drama, I guess. No waffle drama tonight, but maybe some relationship drama, maybe some tie drama. Let's talk about it all. With me tonight to talk through tonight's emotional episode of Big Brother Canada 11 is Kirsten. How you doing, Kirsten?
I'm doing great, Taran. I'm so excited to be back talking about another episode of Big Brother where we definitely understand all of the underlying tensions that have caused this situation. We totally know everything that's going on.
No, yeah. Remember how Claudia was really mad at Renee about her being the secret HOH and all of that stuff?
Mm-hmm. We definitely have every detail.
Yeah, that was in this episode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was invisible in the episode. That's with me as well tonight is Mari. How you doing, Mari?
I'm doing good. I'm here to teach anybody how to change a tire if you don't know how to do it. Free lessons.
And you roll the tire into what looks like a bike rack.
That's the easy part, Taran. That's the easy part. Yeah.
The most important part.
That too.
Sounds good. Also with us here tonight to talk about his guy Ty. It's Jacob Jones. How you doing, Jacob?
First off, I don't think publicly claim Ty. I don't think I have publicly affirmed.
Can we watch the cast preview again?
I'm doing really good. I'm all smiles, all giggles. Tonight's episode was amazing. It really had a lot that I enjoyed, and I watched it while making pasta and enjoying it, and so everything congregated to being a perfect evening. And I get to end it with y'all.
Oh, yes, a perfect evening indeed. Watching Big Brother Canada. So let's talk about this episode. Of course, at the end, tears streaming down the players' faces as Jonathan heads up on the block. I don't think Jonathan said a word in this episode.
Not until the end when he said it's not his time to go.
He did say to Renee, "Oh, I was just saying hi," before Ty did it. So we did get a quick little from him. It was cute.
Yeah, I think they were hoping, they were kind of like, you want to be rooting for Shanaya to use the veto, and they don't want you thinking about the consequences of your actions of saving Santina, and then now look at what you have wrought. So here it is, Jonathan and Hope on the block post veto. It's not what Ty wanted, but if you watched Ty do things, you'd be surprised by that, considering he chooses Shanaya to compete in the veto. So I really think the theme of this episode was summed up by Kuzi.
Hello? Is anybody home, Ty? Because what are you doing?
But the thing, too, is like at the end of the day, with all of the situations, if you really want to hurt Santina, taking out Jonathan is good for that end. But yet how we got there...
He didn't want to do it, though.
Yeah.
This is not part of the plan, he says.
Yes.
Well, but is that what he means? Is that true? Like he had no backup plan? He just thought he could intimidate women to do what he wants?
He's really just 5 steps ahead of us all.
Yeah, but also...
seeing Ty trip backwards into probably a better move for his game than what he originally planned is annoying as hell. And I made one little tweet saying I don't think y'all should have saved Santina, and people are in my mentions. I don't care. I'm not reading it. I'm just saying I did not want to save Santina. I knew some sort of snowball like this could happen. Taran even said it last week that this could happen. So anybody who's surprised about this, it's your fault. It's your fault we're here.
Are we not happy about this?
I'm
thrilled.
I am too.
For my purposes, I don't care if Jonathan goes home.
The crackdown.
I am happy about it as well. I had a smile on my Like when I saw tears, I don't cry. But at the same time, damn, I loved it. And I don't know why I loved it, because a lot of my favorite were on the opposite side, but the way they tried to mangle and dangle and grab, and I was just like, damn, let the girl go. Let the girl do what she want to do. And she did it. And Nene made me proud. And Taran, I got such a satisfaction on seeing it. It was so good to me. Like, yeah, I love the crown. Good. But she did that. I mean, hey, I got to give it to her.
Well, Jacob Jones, you are the finger of the people, and so you are on the pulse right now.
Kirsten, let's fix the face.
I didn't like it. I did not like that.
Yeah, I am the finger of the people, and I think I have the right pulsation for the situation. And oh God,
the rhythm is right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe I don't like it after all of this is the result of what happened.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't know. I think it's fun to see, like people are saying, it's fun to see Ty uncomfortable. I think it was a messy week and it was like all fun in that, but to me, it feels like it's solidifying, keeping people that I think I do like this whole cast, but it's because I like so many of these people in these casts. I'm like, we have to let somebody go, and I have people that I'm like, we can let them go in order for my faves to stay, and I'm scared that my faves are getting more heat on them this week, and I don't like it, and that's just me.
That's you know what, fair enough. And also, if people are replying to your tweet sideways, Mari, they can direct that to me at Kirsten said what. I do have time.
And send it to her DMs as well.
No, do not DM me.
Send it to her DMs. Make it nasty.
I mean, I feel like this is something that probably a lot more people would be with you, Mari, if there were live feeds and people were like watching. But but like the way that the show is set up right now, it's like, yeah, this is a complete dumpster fire. The fact that like, I mean, this is so far out of bounds of normal gameplay that like these two would not be on the block anywhere close to it, if not for like a very strange series of events and like all of that. I mean, this is like if the leftovers had come together during Big Brother 24 and then the twist was like, actually, Joseph and Turner, maybe like you two on the block. The leftovers has to end real quick. We can't be having an alliance you're rooting for.
I think you're right, Taran. I think everybody's just rooting for good episodes because that's all we get.
Yes.
And everything that has happened, I think, has resulted in good episodes. So you're right. Maybe I just need to let go of, pure strategy and social
because we
interaction.
Don't know, Mari, is the thing, right? Like if we could know what was really happening, we would all have such higher stakes. I care about one thing and one thing only. I care about Kuzi. I care about my queen.
And chaos.
And even then, I can't even really 100% be like, oh, this is the best strategic path that's going to set her up, because I know that there's more layers to these alliances that we are not seeing. Like there's more going on that we don't know about. So it's really hard to try and dial in from a GameBot strategy heavy perspective because we just have no clue.
Yeah.
But Nene also gave us some really good content to root for her. I feel like
Jacob, we cannot be good. We do not do Nene on the podcast.
What do y'all do? I saw that on Twitter and I loved it. I was like, Nene, oh, let me put this in my phone. I love Nene.
Here's the problem, Jacob. Okay, you're saying Nene. What if I were to tell you that could be Renee?
But
I mean, like Renee wishes.
It makes more sense that it would be Renee. Her name ends
Shanaya,
with Nay.
or Shanaya. Well, how do you pronounce her name?
It's Shanaya.
Shanaya. Yeah, Shanaya. Nay. Shanaya. Renee. Okay, Taran. Like Shanaya has longer. Okay, right. All right, you win. All right. Take it.
And what do they call Renee? Nene or something?
They call her Riri.
Riri and Nene. I love it.
Yeah, okay, let's just throw both of them away. But I like Shanaya. I feel like this. I love seeing her go in that room saying, "Hey guys, please shut the hell up. I'm about to walk out. I gotta finish my makeup. Y'all all look good." I liked it, and it gave me much more. And I mean, I hate to see how Claudia is being treated, but it made me like her way more. Like, I mean, not like it. I like that she like didn't back down from Ty. I liked it. Ty was being a complete dickwad, and I think is dickwad.
Sorry, no, I
mean,
saw something in the chat. And I was like, what?
I didn't feel like dickwad was that far. I was like, oh, who said dickwad?
No.
But yeah, I feel like I like Claudia. Like, I mean, and of course the crown. But people who I didn't think I was going to root for are kind of like pumping it up this episode for me.
I mean, like, did Claudia really stand up for it? Like, she kind of stood up for it. I don't know.
I mean, what do
She
you
lets
like?
that man talk to her crazy. Like, Ty needs to learn how to talk to people.
I feel like she stood up for her in the best way that she could, and I took it for what she gave me. I didn't expect her to be like, "Hey, listen to me, little bitch. This is what we're gonna do." I didn't expect that. Now,
wouldn't you love that?
I would have loved it. I would have loved to be like, "You're going home next." I would have loved that energy, but from Claude, I was like, "All right, like, you know." In my own eyes, I feel like she stood up for herself. She did it for me, and I was like, "Sock it to him." Even though Ty, I have my opinions about Ty, and is, you know, not everyone does, but you know. Not.
I think we're projecting personalities onto some of these women that just aren't there. Personally, that's just me. But I don't know.
It's the way Claudia's soul left her body when Ty was like, "I think Kuzi has a crush on me."
I know, and oh man, you just like how much was Ty loving that conversation? Like, oh, Claudia, you're worried about Kuzi. Yeah, I mean, I do think she has a crush on me. I'm not gonna lie, but. Don't worry.
Yeah, let's focus on the real enemy. Can we start talking bad about Ty now?
Oh man. Yes. Ty made some quite some decisions overall here. That he's first of all going to talk about how Kuzi has a crush on him while Kuzi is in the bathroom. Kuzi comes out of the bathroom. And they're like, "Oh my God, did she hear? Did she hear?" And I love this, like, it, you know, for as kind of annoying it is, that like, as it is for Claudia and Renee and them to be like, "Oh my God, why Kuzi?" Like, it's totally true that Ty is like cowed by Kuzi, right? Like when it's just him and Claudia in the room, he's like, "She's got a crush on me. Don't worry about it." And then she comes out of the bathroom. He's like, "Yeah, hey, Kuzi, come back. Hey, Kuzi. By the way, I don't know if you heard anything, but like it was totally just like we were talking about what Renee was saying about you, which we totally don't believe. Kuzi, don't be mad at me, please. Don't take me out like you took Zach out."
Well, and the thing is like, obviously she did not hear the details of the conversation, or we would have had the diary room of her being like, "This is what they said. This is what I think about it," and absolutely not.
Yeah, she needs to work on her "I'm going to the bathroom" or eavesdropping skills. Maybe she should talk to Kevin Martin about it.
I think it's a little late for that.
Kevin. Hey, look, Kevin won like 1 billion HOHs, right? He should show up at the Wendy's and let her know, "Hey, by the way, when you're taking when you're going to the bathroom in the HOH, keep an ear out. You know, you never know what you might hear."
Is Cindy the other one that's overheard things in the bathroom before? I can't remember. Or was it just because she was
the one he overheard, no?
Yeah.
But I feel like there's two
It was
examples.
another one. I feel like there was another one, but I can't remember.
What's the other one? I can't remember. Damn.
Was it from 9?
Oh, mate.
I feel like it's a fairly common thing. I mean, the thing is that once it happened with Kevin, most players, because they watch the show and, you know, have a head, will check the bathroom before they start talking game in the HOH. It's just a thing that happens in Big Brother Canada, and it all is because of Kevin Martin. And these I guess we're past that time now that that it's not really a thing anymore. People don't know the tale.
Yeah.
Wow, they forgot our history.
And they are doomed to repeat it. So this is all coming because of this like anti-Kuzi sentiment that has popped up that, again, there's no real explanation for, because while it wasn't in the episodes, the last we've seen really in the drops and everything is that last week there was an alliance between Kuzi, Claudia, Ty, Daniel, and Anika. Which,
I have an explanation, Taran.
please.
Jealousy is a disease.
Yeah, I mean, that's the subtext, right? it's the subtext that becomes the what's the foretext?
I think it's just the text.
I was reaching for something that didn't exist. When Ty is saying, yeah, I think she has a crush on me, I think that it becomes clear at the very least that Ty is getting that vibe as well. But yeah, it really struck me because Claudia is in the diary room. Like, I just don't understand why Ty would respect Kuzi so much when Kuzi's the one that took out Zach. And in my head, I'm like, do you remember what happened that week? Because you could have saved Zach. You also took out Zach. He was like, I will quit unless I actually have the votes to stay. Hey, Claudia, do I have the votes to stay? And she was like, nah, sorry, bro. You also did that. What do you mean? Right. Why would he be solely mad at Kuzi?
I mean, to be fair, Hope's girlfriend took out Zach.
Let's give her credit.
Yes. You know, and we're actually seeing, like, in real time the dividends that are being paid back from Daniel C taking Ty off the block last week when, you know, technically they didn't need to. They had the votes to get out Dan Sabo if they wanted to, but they fostered that bond with Ty, and it kept all three of them off the block this week. Did nothing for Jonathan and Hope, but we knew that. We knew that with that move. So I mean, and then the girly pops are just I mean, what this episode is telling me is that they're not understanding that y'all are busy making connections, but between the three of y'all aren't realizing that other people are making other connections. Claudia should know that. If anybody is asking, I don't understand why Ty's not taking out Kuzi, Claudia would know that, but you know, she's acting like she don't right here. So,
and this is just an ineffective strategy to be like, but why us? Why not Kuzi? Why not somebody other than me? Like, it's like that's not making a case for anything other than like you know, like it shouldn't be like why does that person get to have a good job? I should have a good job. Well, like I should be rewarded from Ty.
I mean, I don't think that is too far out of reach. If I'm cuddling with a man, if I'm kissing on a man, if I'm massaging his toes, doing all of that, I'm going to expect you have me in my girl's back. I'm like, I don't think this is out of the realm for Claudia to think. Why are you targeting us? I'm your booski butt in this house, and why are you coming after me and my friends? And you got,
but your friends ain't showing him any love.
Like, but still, you are mine. Like, not you are mine, but like we go together. We see each other, and my girls, they see you too. And so, why are you going? Like, I don't think it's stupid for Claudia to think. If I was in the house and I was laying up with a man, you better believe I'm getting way more than you just having my friends back.
I will agree with you on this one, Jacob. I think Claudia of them has the most right to be like, dude, what the hell?
Like, what are you doing?
But Renee, who has never had any relationship with Ty, to be like, wait, why is Ty not working with me? Why is he working with Kuzi, who he's had a relationship with for 40 days? Like, it's like, of course. When did you make an effort with Ty?
Okay, well, Ray can go, and you know,
like, but when has Ty respected Claudia? Never. So I don't know why she would expect any more in a game context than she's getting in a personal context.
So true.
I mean, maybe I'm just speaking. Because you know what I mean? Like, I feel as though, say you we don't see everything. We only see a small margin. And I'm not a Ty apologist nor empathizer. Ty. I'm not about to defend Ty. I'm about to defend
Starting
Claudia.
a sentence that way is
Okay, well, okay. Ty kick rocks. But anyways, yes, he does not talk to Claudia well. He does not treat her like a person in the house, regardless of romantic or not, should be treated. He doesn't talk to her with a sense of respect or honestly with a sense of love. But I feel like if you have that connection, and I've been in type of things where I'm like, I be getting my not literally, but like I be getting rocked with emotions, and I still be like, okay, you know what I mean? And so like I can still get it. It's still like a very feasible thing, you know?
No,
Not
she's
saying
in a situationship and it sucks.
yeah, and common sense
Very
isn't
bad.
common. And so sometimes we need Ty needs to leave. Ty, can we just agree on that? Because I don't want to defend Ty, and I'm not going to defend Ty. I wish Ty would just sit in the dining room with that blue wave cap on, looking and not say nothing because he ruins the effect. Yeah,
I think if anything, I think that you're defending sort of Claudia's position.
Yes,
with
I'm
Ty,
not defending
like,
Ty.
Yeah, I think that because
defending
I think that a lot of people can probably relate to being Claudia in this position, right?
Yes.
Like for as much as it's like, and I get it because it's frustrating, especially when you're watching it on a TV, and maybe even more so when it's in real life. But it can be frustrating when you see people go back to people that are clearly not good for them over and over. But I do think it's important, we're talking about a silly game, but it's, if we expand it a little, it is important to kind of recognize how difficult it can be to break out of situations like that, that are more serious, that are not as serious. Like it's a tricky situation in general. And when somebody has kind of a hold over you, it's not as easy as it is when you look at it from the outside to be like, well, they're treating me poorly, so I should just say F them and leave. It's tough.
And then you're in the same house together.
No, go ahead. You go.
No, it's the same thing. It's like even if you want to get away from him or break up with him or whatever, you're in the same house. You're playing for $100,000 and some random sponsored gifts. Like you can't just cut all ties because that doesn't help protect you in this game. So it sucks for Claudia. She is between a rock and a hard place, but no, there's nothing else. She's just in a bad position when it comes to him.
It sucks. I'm not like, I want to be very clear that I'm like, oh, I hate Claudia and she doesn't do the things I wish she would do, because like, I think every person can say they've been in some sort of situation where if it was happening to your friend, the advice you give them is so different than what you do when you're in it. And add into that the level of like hyper bonding that happens in the Big Brother house, like not only locked in the house, but away from the internet and the outside world after weeks of complete isolation. You're gonna be in an extra vulnerable position where somebody can take advantage of you. And I think that that's just what we're seeing. And it just sucks so bad that like none of us can do anything about it, right? And so we just sit there and we yell like, oh, Claudia, stand up. But it's obviously more complicated than that. It's obviously harder than that. And it just sucks to see someone treating everybody like this, because I really think if Ty talked to anybody properly, we would have seen one clip of him being like a respectful person, but we've not seen like one thing of him being like pleasant to be around, right? And it's I would like to believe that production's not just like hiding the like few good moments of Ty from us.
There was the drop that was it was either today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Started with Ty kind of like being a little bit apologetic to Claudia at first. And no spoilers here or anything, but I was like, okay, look at Ty. I don't believe it's genuine, but hey, maybe he has been cowed enough in the game that he is having to sort of like be a little bit apologetic. But then of course, like a couple hours later, he was like, I'm tricking her. They're dead to me. And it was like, okay.
Well, and even if he felt like he had to apologize, Ty comes across to me as the type of person who will be like, I owe you an apology, and then leaves it at that. And it's like, okay, but can you say that you're sorry to me because you haven't apologized? You said you owe me an apology. Can I have it?
And then also like if you dare to bring it up in any way again, Are we still on this?
Oh,
Did I not
yes.
already
Oh,
apologize?
Oh my god.
No,
Like,
you
no, you
didn't.
didn't, sir. And definitely the type of person to be like, wow, you're throwing that in my face. I can't believe it. That is ancient history. How dare you bring that up again? Like,
It's like it was 2 hours
bad.
ago. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh boy. So on top of all of this, because we haven't even talked about the most boneheaded thing he does in the
Oh,
episode,
man.
which is that we get to the veto draw, and he has the ability to choose who he wants to play in the veto. He has a plethora of options. He does not want Renee to come off the block. Now, granted, Renee coming off the block is actually a good thing for his game on a broad level. Like looking at everything, getting Jonathan up on the block is great for Ty as long as he doesn't ruin every relationship he has in the process by doing so. But in his mind, he really wants Renee to stay on the block because he wants Renee gone. And he has all of these people sitting on the couch. Kuzi would not use the veto on Renee. Daniel would not use the veto on Renee. Jonathan would not use the veto on Renee. Anika would not use the veto on Renee. The list is maybe that much. I'm not sure if there are any people I missed. But then there's one person on that couch, one person maybe in the entire game that would use the veto on Renee. And he's like, hold on though. What if I chose the one person that would do the thing I didn't want to have happen as a way of maintaining my cover? I don't want to reveal my allegiances by choosing somebody that is not Shanaya to play in the veto, because I definitely haven't already exposed my allegiances by putting Renee on the block. That hasn't exposed me at all. But choosing Shanaya to play in the veto will definitely maintain. Nobody will see that I'm actually against Renee if I choose Shanaya to play in the veto. And in the meantime, everyone else is like,
Hello? Hello? Is anybody home? Ty?
That's your
What are you
favorite
doing?
soundbite of
it
this.
doesn't trick anybody. They're just like, what are you doing, dummy?
I feel like it's like if you're playing Uno and he had like a color swap card and he's like, oh, I only have a blue card in my hand, so I'm gonna change it to red and like trick someone into changing the color. And then Shanae's like, reverse, bitch. Like,
No, bad. I mean, in the fact, like, I know Ty thinks he's like smarter than half of that house, and so just for him to make this move, and then in the immediate afterthought of her winning, him flipping the script and being like, "Hey, Shawty, I hope you don't do this because X, Y, and Z gonna happen." So it was stupid, Ty. It was a very bonehead, stupid decision to make, and I feel like you had glee in your eyes when you made it, and you should not have had it. You should have had disparity. You should have had like the thing that goes like this. Like it should have it gave dummy and it gave stupid and it wasn't smart and it gave blank space.
I think he thought that Shanaya wasn't going to win. I think he completely just thought, oh, none of the girls are going to win. And it completely backfired. It's like you can't pick people based off if you think they won't win. You got to pick based off what would happen if they do. And he just,
and
all those people.
I feel like a little bit of it also was like, oh, like, and whatever happened, I feel like Ty felt he had control over like, oh, I chose you, Shanaya, and so like you're doing my bidding since I can, and you're not gonna use it even if worse comes to worse. And I think Ty just overestimated his own game himself and his position and how he communicates. Yeah. It's not nice.
But
I'm curious if everyone agrees. Like, who do you like? I know obviously the answer is literally anybody else, but who would have been like the best person for him to pick? I think it would have been so easy to justify choosing Daniel. Like, oh, he used the veto on me last week. I trust him to respect what I do this week. Oh, right. I forgot about the stupid invisible.
I mean,
so dumb.
Yeah.
I think Daniel still works, and honestly, I think Jonathan works. Like, it helps, it gives Jonathan something. I mean, Jonathan hates Ty at this point, but like, hey, look, I picked you to play in the veto, dude. And it's also like just maintains his bro image and keeps, more heat on people looking at Jonathan and Hope instead of Kuzi, Anika, and Daniel. So I think that would have been fine too. But yeah, I mean, it's just like this to me was like Ty and Ty getting into an argument about like what he wants to watch on TV with like Shanaya. And they're like arguing back and forth, and he's like, you know what? Fine. I will trust you. I will give you the remote, and I will trust you to pick the channel. Okay. Whatever you want to do, I will respect it because I trust that you will choose something that we will both like. And then she chooses the thing that she wanted to do, and he's like, hold on. Actually, I want that back. It's like, so you didn't trust me. So you didn't trust me at all. You didn't actually want me to have control. You just wanted me to have the illusion of control. And now you want it back. You want the controller back. No, it's mine.
Yeah. And I think, strong arming a woman worked the first 2 weeks of the game. And I think Ty has just not let up on that strategy. He's like, I am just going to strong arm the women throughout the game.
He even says it in the diary room. He's like, listen, I chose Shanaya to hide my allegiances and all of that stuff. And then look, even if she wins, I can get her to not play. He's like, I can essentially get her. He still thinks he's playing with Zach in week 1. Like he still thinks he's that guy, and he's really not.
He thinks that he can convince anybody of anything, that he could sell anything to anyone when he's nothing of the sort, and maybe he's been lied to several times. I don't know, but like, it's not working.
How old is Ty? Does anyone know?
Like
Mid
25?
to late 20s?
Yeah, 24, 25, yeah.
20. Wow, he's young.
Might be a little
and
older.
I say that I'm only 26, but I'm like, I feel like Ty just has like, and I don't know about his personal life, but I feel like he's just gotten away with a lot of 28. Oh, okay. Okay.
Old enough to know better.
Yeah, he's a grown ass man. Yeah.
So 25 made more sense to me.
I was hoping. I was like, he's young, dumb, gravitas.
Well, but like, let's be clear, Jacob. The men are out here acting clowns well into their 30s. Come on,
you're right.
Come on.
But I feel like Ty has. I mean, just by the way that he's acted in this game, I feel like he's gotten away with a lot of shit in like actual life, and I think a lot of it is based off of probably he's with people like the Zach to him in normal day life. Like Ty is a super attractive guy, has a very macho type of attitude. A lot of people in the world kind of gleam or are attracted to that thing, and I think he gets his way a lot of the time. Like coming to a house where everyone is fighting for what could have been $150,000 or $100,000. Like he thinks he can pull the same shit. And Ty, where's Ty from?
Toronto.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. I ain't gonna touch Toronto, but yeah,
Where would you touch, Jacob?
I love all Canada. I love all Canada.
And then for BC,
all part. Yes, all. Oh my God, I'm not getting into this conversation again. I love all parts of Canada. Provinces, states, regions, whatever, cities. But yes.
Well, and the other thing too is in the real world, Ty can talk his bullshit, and then everyone goes home to their own houses, and they aren't locked together, and so like it's not the same like 8 to 10 to 16 people getting it 24 hours a day for 40 days straight. Like they get a break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the first things I said about Ty after like one of the first drops was that like this guy is walking around the house like his parents own it, and that never stopped. It only got worse,
big time.
So we get to the veto competition, and this is a weird one.
Can I complain for a second,
please?
So, first of all, having only 5 people play the veto when you're going to structure it like this is so stupid. How did they decide that Hope will play twice? I would love to know that. Second of all, the first stage that everyone does should be the same thing. And then a second stage where everyone's doing the same thing. And then the final, like, why is the same level of the competition a different task? Like,
well, they had to get that puzzle in. You know, with
Which one? Which
the
puzzle?
puzzle
The fence
where you
puzzle, the
match
wall,
the
the
shape.
sidewalk puzzle, like
I think
tree puzzle.
I think we're all familiar with this puzzle. It's a very tricky one that most people have to go through in their life as a toddler. You have to put the circle in the circle. You have to put the square in the square. You have to put the cross in the cross. It's tricky.
And you know,
it's exciting television.
You know that when a tree gets uprooted in real life, you just pop it back in the ground easy
Yeah,
as
you just need to
pie.
match the shape.
It's definitely fine.
Okay.
It's simple.
I just gotta say, as a homeowner and a very crafty queen, I would say I did actually love this this challenge itself. Like I like the ideas and the pieces of it and stuff like that, but I completely agree with Kirsten. I think having the different stages at the different levels didn't make sense. Having 5 people go, having there be 5 people and you have it set up as a head-to-head was stupid. I think that was really unfair. Like again, why would Hope have had to gone through 3 stages to get to the final, as opposed to like how did Claudia get a bye? Like this doesn't make sense to me.
Well, like, just have 5 houses set up. Everybody does step 1. Okay, the slowest person, you're gone. Okay, now 4
But they
people
only
are
get
doing
so
the
much
second one.
sponsorship
Like,
money from whatever it was that sponsored them.
Home Depot.
Beller Direct
Home Depot.
Insurance. Call me if you would like to give me money.
I like the comp. I think the execution was poor though.
It reminded me, and I say it reminded me, but I've never actually watched this show. I think just how the show is advertised. What's the show with she hosted the Emmys?
That was a left turn.
She hosted the Emmys with Tina Fey. She hosted the Emmys with Tina Fey. She's a famous comedian. Amy Poehler. Parks and Rec, follow me. Who was the guy in Parks and Rec? Ron Swanson. Ron Swanson. Yes. Okay. What was their show? Their show that they had. Like,
their show together, like Nailed It or something.
Nailed It. It was called Nailed It.
Wow, that was
Nailed It is the baking show with Nicole Byer.
Nailed It is not the baking show.
I think I think they have the same name. I think it's
Jacob. There's more than one baking show in the world.
But
Nailed It is a baking show on Netflix that Nicole Byer hosts.
Making it. I knew it was something.
That's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking
about so what
CBS.
about this?
Okay,
that was like a
I just think the
race.
show that you said was a Netflix show with Nicole Byer.
But I'm talking, but it reminded me of Making It, did it not? Like putting stuff in fences. Like I never saw it. I've never saw it either.
Okay, but also nobody is like gluing back together the broken pieces of their white picket fence. Sorry, boo, you gotta buy a new fence, and hopefully your insurance is good enough that they're gonna cover your fence, and you don't have to glue the old one back together.
I will say my favorite part of this competition was the rolling of the tires into the bike rack thing. It brought me back to throwing CDs into a bucket in a pool. Like and in a good way. Like that was the most, because look, like the toddler puzzle, I feel like you can actually relate to like what it would be like to roll a tire and try to get it into a thing. You know what I mean? And you can see it happening and it makes sense, and it's just a very simple thing. You know, it's the actual toddler puzzle. I couldn't see a thing that was happening. They were just shoving trees into the ground.
Yeah.
And you thought this was the most relatable part of? I didn't
rolling
think this was
tires.
Relatable at all.
Favorite part.
You would, Jacob, if you would change a tire, you would be calling someone to do it for you. Some of us would have to change our own tire on the side of the road.
The changing of the tire, it's just like it's a linear thing. You just like you do it and it's done, and it's
you change the tire and then you roll them into the racks. It's what you do when you blow out a tire on the side of the highway.
There's no game show about taking tires off of cars.
You do have to roll it into a rack. It's the most important part of changing the tire.
When you take a tire off, you roll it into a rack like they did?
Because then you have to put it in there.
From 15 feet away?
No, sometimes 20 feet. I don't know. What's the metric conversion? I'm not sure.
This may be like a Canada thing. Oh, okay.
Sorry, way too rude.
All right.
I'm the Jacob interpreter.
I was so confused. I was like, excuse me? Yeah.
I'll tell you, I did appreciate, we got some great insight onto the strategy of this competition. with the at the end when they were doing the ball rolling. First of all,
none of them watch Survivor.
yeah. First of all, Claudia says, "Oh man, the smallest of subtle movements is just shaking the ball everywhere." Meanwhile, like you could learn something from Azza about subtlety. Second, Shanaya finally cracks the strategy. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Let's hear it. What is the strategy to getting through this? She says, the trick to it is you need to roll the ball fast enough to get over the bump, but not so fast that it then falls off after you get over the bump.
Genius.
Nailed it.
I never would have thought of that.
I was loving watching because we've seen a lot of table mazes watching Survivor over the years, and people like it's just like the subtlest little, and they're like, yes.
Yeah, Ryan points out a good point as well. They had the most of the table was red, bright red.
Yep.
And Claudia's ball was blue, and Shanaya's ball was also bright red.
And why did they need different colors of balls? It's not like it was a shared table maze where like only one of them could get the spots. Like it's like they could both have the blue ones.
I'm not gonna be mad at the different colored balls. I think it's good visually to see like immediately like these are Claudia's finished. She's got 3, Shanaya's got 2, whatever.
Well, then maybe a different
but
color.
don't make one of the colors the same color as the table. Maybe that's all. I don't know.
I thought you were
right.
nasty.
Jacob.
I did. I was like, Terry, stop.
Oh boy. Well, Shanaya, of course, goes on to win this veto, and Ty is not pleased. He says, Claudia, I might have to put Shanaya into a predicament where she has to pick between you and Renee. AKA, I will tell her that if she uses the veto, I'm putting you on the block. And when she's like, okay, hear that plan, counter, what about not doing that? How about I don't go on the block? He's like, why aren't you supporting me? Why are you always against me and my plans? I just feel very alone right now.
He just makes all of his plans against his showmance's best interests, and then it's like, wait, why aren't you on board? Why won't you help me?
Ridiculous.
And she was like, I want to be a team with you, Ty. I want to be a team with you. And I'm like, Ty, yo, you
That's not what she sounds like.
Oh, is that not?
Is that what you think Claudia sounds like?
I want to be
I want
to be a team with you, Ty. I mean, I don't think that's too far fetched.
No, you're never right.
I want to be a team with you, Ty. Be a team with me. And Ty was like, nah, Shawty, I don't want that. Like, and I'm like, Ty, just like stop being such a wanker. And I was like, I don't know why I had to like throw a British slang in there. I just
you went like anime with the Claudia impression, and then you went British.
Anime Taran.
Okay, now you're moving away into something else.
Well, let me just say that, and then he didn't even do it like with conviction. Like he's like, well, if Claudia something happens to her, then I guess we'll see. It's like. Spicy V, like Beth, like that's what
you
we
wanted to put Beth up,
and we didn't even get that. Like
maybe Beth should go on the block.
I don't understand him.
Well, but also like she's like, well, like this person, like Shanaya won the veto. She's probably gonna use it. That's in her best interest. So like that's the game. And he's like, well, then it's just the game if I put you up on the block. Oh, right. Okay. Well, like, we bring it down like just one level. Like this is getting really intense, really fast.
This is the thing
God, because I like this really pisses me off. It's because I don't know, because I've probably been in situations like Claudia's, and I just want to like Claudia say, hey, homeboy, you and like I'm like I just wish we get But I feel like she's trying to advocate for herself. She's trying to advocate for her team. Who said yes?
Kirsten did.
Oh, okay. Wait, it came out of my AirPods. Oh, I thought someone was in my house. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's an intruder, Jacob. It's me. I'm actually in your apartment right now.
Somebody sneaks up behind you, and the first thing they do to alert you to their presence is agree with you in the podcast. Actually, great point, Jacob. Also, I'm here to steal some stuff.
Also, give me all of your money.
Wait, yeah. And especially like I was like, hey, yeah. But yeah, sorry, my heart's like, for some reason, I just need to check. So continue. I'm just going to check. So
That's fine. Not the people in the chat telling Jacob to look behind him. That is truly hate.
He's worried that Kevin Jacob's friends are here at the door.
He's worried for me. It was my voice.
This is the thing about Ty, is that he is all bark and no bite, right? Like that is his entire presence in the house. He's like, I'm quitting with Zach. I'm out of here. Here I go to the diary room. Let's go. I'm on my way. Okay, let's hand over the. I forgot. I forgot something back inside. I'll be right back. He doesn't quit. Then he says, if I go on the block this week, I'm walking. That's it. I'm walking this time for real. I have nominated Ty.
He's the boy who cried quitting.
Oh man, I meant to walk, but then the door was locked and I forgot. So yeah, that's the thing about that one. Yeah. If you use that veto, I'm putting Claudia on the block. Don't test me. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'm not gonna put Claudia on the block.
I feel like the way that you just talked and acted like him, I feel like that's how he thinks he sounds in his head. Like that's how he I'm gonna do. Like I feel like Ty gets off on this shit. Like I'm like, what is it that's really perpetuating you to continue this egotistical run around the house? This girl obviously cares about you. You treating her like shit, and she keeps wanting to be a team with you, Ty. She wants to be a team with you, and you ain't giving her a flap shit. Like. It pisses me off, and it's very hard to watch. Honestly, so just slightly triggering to watch Ty's reaction to different situations, and especially coming from a person that Claudia seems sweet. Claudia, I feel like genuinely cares about Ty and wants to be a team with Ty, and it's just kind of not. That's probably just my my girl.
Wait, is somebody in my house? Hold on.
Oh, Sarah, you better check under the table. Knock, it's me. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just But yeah, I don't know. It just makes me feel bad.
Yeah. So he tells Claudia, I'm gonna put you on the block. He tells Renee, I can't work with you women if that veto gets used on you. Like, why are you telling Renee this? He tells Shanaya there will be a domino effect against you in this game if you dare do this move. And she's like, okay. And of course, none of this works. If anything, it makes it worse.
Well, and that's the thing too. I feel like people always try to, well, not always, but oftentimes people will appeal to people based on, well, this will happen to you, and so you should be afraid. But they don't appeal to what will actually incentivize somebody to make a move, right? Like, I mean, I feel like it was very, 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 very impossible chance, really, that Shanaya was going to not use the veto there. But if you go to her and Claudia and you actually build something where they feel included and they're working with you moving forward, that gives you a chance at getting what you want versus just being like, no, you have to do what I say. And if you don't, like, it's going to be bad. Well, what's going to be bad, Ty? You can't be HOH next week. What's going to happen?
And what about
the domino effect?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dominoes are scary, you know?
What if they all fell? Oh my God.
Ty's not the only person that's going to try and convince Shanaya to not use this veto. We had heard that this was going to happen, but we did not see the play itself from the Crown. They were planning to try and convince Shanaya to not use the veto. Now, I was saying on the updates that there's a chance this works, because in the history of the show, it's worked quite often that if you get a large amount of people, not in the same room, but if you get a large amount of people all going to somebody being like, yo, don't do this. This is not good for you. The house wants X, Y, and Z. We want to work with you if you do this. And we saw it happen with Gino taking Kyle out. We see it happen all the time, usually with HOHs of like, do this for us and we will reward you. And in fact, we see it so often that it's kind of like, whoo, yeah, let's go, when it doesn't happen. For instance, when Devon used the veto in 22, it was like, she did it. She pushed through. Right?
So
because it's so often you will bow to what the house wants you to do, even though it's not good for your game. But I really felt like the Crown dropped the ball on this one. They waited until 1 hour before the ceremony to get Shanaya into a room with 3 of them there, all like hovering around her. Like, no, this is the opposite of how you do this.
Yeah, it just like felt very awkward. Shanaya is like repeatedly saying, I need to get ready. Please, like, let me just get ready. Like, she obviously doesn't want to be having these game conversations that are for sure going to be on the show when she's not ready for them, right? And then also they're all just hovering over. Like, if they had done this individually over the course of like a couple of days, I definitely think they could have gotten it, because in the scene she says like, well, I'm 99% not going to use it. And I don't think we have enough information to actually know if that is an accurate statement of how she felt in that moment, or she just wanted them all to leave her alone.
Well, even in the diary room, she said that she was feeling swayed, right? And I feel like that's believable to me. That she, in the moment, like because it was like, and that's the thing about the group approach. You can, you see this happen in real life. You can get somebody if we were all here to convince you that you need to do this thing. It's tough to sit there and be like, no. And it's tough to even just like lie to them and get out of there and be like, oh, thank God I'm out of there. It's like, okay, well, they all want me to do this. I'm stuck in this house with them. Like, maybe I need to do this. But that's just a short-term thing, because once they get back to the safety of their own people and their own sort of like mental headspace, they're going to be like, no, they just tried to intimidate me. It's too blunt force. That's why it's so important to spend time, and you have plenty of it. The veto is played on Saturday, and the veto ceremony is on Monday. So they had all day on Sunday to spend time one-on-one talking with her, talking through options, talking about like, the pros and cons of using the veto, and how maybe if she doesn't use the veto, maybe there's something that they can do to work together. And the key person here that wasn't even involved in this conversation was Jonathan, the person actually at risk of going on the block, who had the most amount of reason to be talking with her, who also is seen as a free agent in the house, who could be pledging loyalty, and people would believe him if he pledged loyalty. Hey, I'm going to go up if you use that veto, but I promise you I will vote to keep Renee, and I will work with you if you don't use that veto, because I think if I go up, I think I will go home. I think Santino will vote me out. I think that that Kuzi and them will vote me out. But Renee will stay, especially with my vote, plus you guys. I think we can make something work. And then like the whole house is on board with this. Like the whole house wants the veto to not be used for whatever reason, because they go to her separately and say they have their own reasons for the veto to not be used. And so she starts to feel like, ooh, I am the central point here, where there are multiple people from different sides of the house all coming to me wanting me to do this one thing. And me doing this one thing satisfies so many different requirements. I start to feel like a mastermind. I start to feel like doing this move, it's risky. It's risky for Renee, but it's, I'm safe. If I pull this off, I could win the loyalty of Jonathan. I could appease Kuzi and Daniel and Anika and keep Renee all the same. And now all of a sudden, she feels like she's in control, and she might actually do it. But when you go to her and say, you need to do this, we are telling you that this is the move for you, she's going to be like, can I get ready?
100%. And the other thing too, like, the argument that really stuck out to me was, I think it was Anika who's saying like, well, if this is your one person that you're showing, like, oh, this is the only person you care about, well, what are you going to do next week when she goes home instead? And I'm like, okay, so you're not even going to pretend like maybe a different vote would happen. You're not like, it's like, okay, well then I'll be in pretty much the same situation, but I'll have made it 2 weeks further in the game. we'll figure it out in that period of time.
Yeah, they were actually saying, like, she made her own bed, if she goes, because Shanaya says if Renee goes, that doesn't benefit my game. And they were like, but you'll have us. It's like, oh, so you're basically telling her that you want them to keep her up, and you want to keep her up there so you can vote her out. And I just thought this was the missing piece to some of the drops you were talking about earlier today, Taran.
Yeah. Never do what people are trying to force you to do in this game. You make the decision that is right for you, and you force other people to deal with it, right? Like, that is how you play. That is exactly what Ty is teaching us, right? Ty can whine and moan all he wants about how he wants things to go, but if they don't go that way, what kind of position does that put Ty in? What kind of position does that put the crown in? They're out of luck, and they have to deal with it, and they have to adjust accordingly. And that means that with you still in the house, you are still a person that they need to deal with. And it certainly doesn't mean that they won't come after you. But if they are pushing so hard for you to do a thing to keep themselves safe, that means they have way more priorities than you in the first place. And so unless your hand is actually forced, do what you need to do in order to make them come to your table instead of the other way around. And that is exactly what Shanaya does here. And I love the confidence with which she happily
she gagged them, and I lived for it. I did not like that moment in the room. I didn't like it from all three members of the Crown. But do they have a centralized name?
The Shady Bunch.
The Shady Bunch.
And Claudia was there too.
And Daniel.
Yeah, and Claudia. And I feel like they all miss all body language cues. Like, even when she said, like, when Kuzi went up to talk to her, she said, oh, it needs to be quick. She sat down. Claudia came in the room and was like, what is this about, guy? I need to stop. She said, what is this about, guys? And then homegirl was like, I don't know. And then they go in and talk, and Daniel has a point, Anika has a point, Kuzi has a point. And it's like, I like the fact that she got up, she walked out. I wish she would have. I mean, I guess she said, like, oh, I'm thinking about not using her, whatever the hell she said. I wish she just would have took that in her pocket and, like, walked out with an attitude and with her, and just, like, owned it a little bit more. But I like that she's standing her conviction. I love the fact that she gave the message to when she did put the POV necklace around. They put the POV necklace around Renee and Ray and Riri. And I feel like Shanaya, damn, I was happy to see her this episode. Like, she was activated, and I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, nice to finally see her.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, the sneaky ones get you, and I may make a little profile, Abby, saying Shanaya for the win.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Shanaya is
y'all are wild right now.
Shanaya is single-handedly keeping the girly pops afloat here over the last few weeks. By keeping Renee and Claudia, from going at each other's throats. Shanaya was the person that was like, I don't think Renee is the invisible HOH. I don't think we should abandon her. She's the real reason why they have been able to stay together. Then going ahead, winning this veto, saving Renee with it against the pressure of the house. She's really doing a lot of work here, and yet is probably the least respected of the three in the house. And that's probably mostly because all of her work is within the girly pops. There's not a lot of outside stuff happening there, and that is probably going to be her downfall in the game. But in terms of keeping them afloat, great job.
Yeah. And again, this is all Ty's fault because he picked her for
let's remember who the real enemy is.
Yeah.
So that's our episode. Now, worth noting again that Jonathan goes up on the block and tears flow. Hope, who at the beginning of this episode was like, all right, this is such a good play. I'm on the block. I've won the trust of Ty. I've done such a good thing. And Kuzi is like,
Hello?
Hope?
Is anybody home,
Hope?
Ty? Because what are you doing?
To then at the end of the episode, like, what have I done? Oh my God. And he's in tears. And Anika's crying at the ceremony. And somebody else is crying at the ceremony. It's like a funeral for Jonathan.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh.
And his hat.
I did not enjoy it at all. No, I really didn't. And I feel like this was not saying everyone needs to like hug, you know what I mean? But like this was Jonathan's a good, like a nice guy.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's close
Guy.
to everybody else in that
Yeah,
house.
but like, hey, this is like, hey, y'all done kick people. I mean, I guess cry, but like hope, like you put yourself in this position, you deserve to cry of afflicted pain doing it yourself a little bit. Jonathan, you
deserve to cry.
Yes, he
You
did.
deserve
no,
to
not
cry.
like not like that, but like you know what I mean. Like, hey, you know, y'all take it, y'all got it.
Oh man.
Well,
Yeah.
that is our episode for tonight. Anything else from the episode we should bring up before we talk a little bit about the drops?
I didn't bring it up at the time, but we do need to talk about how horrible the veto competition outfits were. Like, they did not, they like roughly had a theme of red and silver, but they did not all match because I think they were purchased at Winners based on just what was there in the correct colors. The shirt that Shanaya was wearing is what I'm thinking of, was that had Winners written all over it. They were so ugly, and that just needs to be on the public record.
I didn't remember any of it. Something else that deserves to be on the public record that might not have anything to do with the episode, but the fact that the Crown went into this week and like, we only have one job to do, guys. We just got to make sure that 2 of us are not on this block. And at the end of it, 2 of them are on the block.
Oof.
Like, kind of no fault to their own, but like, you know,
a little bit.
Because
I mean, at least Hope's
They could have
fault,
done
right?
more.
Yeah.
At least Hope's fault. Yeah.
I mean, Canada saves. Then Ty's dumb decision to pick Shanaya. 3 people got safety this week, you know, in order for it to get to 2 of them being on the block. Like that's
wild. 3 people got safety, and 1 person was HOH, and there are 9 people in the house, and 5 of them are the Crown. Like,
yeah,
there are 10 people in the house, and 5 of them are the Crown. Literally, the only person not safe who isn't in the Crown is Claudia, who is the showmance of the HOH. And they came closer than they should have to getting her on the block.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, and I know I was saying like the Crown's pitch or whatever was like horrible, but it was I don't like, in a sense of like game of people fighting for their people and people coming up with any and all things to convince someone, even they could be your best friend. I like seeing players really taking any shot they can at doing something. And so and I feel like the Crown, I like the alliance. I like the people in the Crown, and I hope they do well. But it's fun when adversity is like met in a game like Big Brother. And so for me, this episode really hit on a lot of cylinders.
Yeah. And can we just talk about, though, like a lot of people are saying, oh, they should have listened to Hope last week and got rid of Ty last week. I don't think that was the move, because we're seeing it here in this week that, you know, bridging that gap with Ty is what's saving at least 3/5 of the Crown. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Dan Sabo would not have. No, like Dan Sabo wouldn't be helping them like this.
First of all, I think Dan wins that HOH in even more convincing fashion than Ty does.
Exactly.
Second, like, Hope didn't really push to get rid of Ty. Like, in the drops, he didn't even mention it. He actively wanted Dan out. And there's like one scene from an episode and like a deleted scene where it's like, maybe he was thinking about taking Ty out. Maybe we should have done this, but like, it was never going in that direction. And also, I just want to point this out too, because, you know, watching Hope, and I feel bad for him. Like, he's in the diary room. He's sad about him and Jonathan being up on the block. He shouldn't have volunteered. But it did cross my mind one more time. Like, this is the man that Zach is like, he master manipulated me with his
and you know what? That says more about Zach than it does about Hope, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we have for the episode, but we have a couple of things to talk about from the drops. So let's get into some spoilers. But before we get into the spoilers, let me first say that we are going to be live in Toronto for May 10th and 11th. If you want to come out and hang out with us in person and listen to an in-person podcast, you can come on out to Toronto. There's going to be plenty of house guests, I assume, are going to be there. Plenty of podcasters. It's going to be a good time. The tickets, I believe, are now on sale. Tickets available now. robasawebsite.com/Toronto. So check them out and come show up and hang out with us in Toronto. It'll be a good time. But now, let's talk spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Who made that song? It's really good.
It's a long story.
Oh.
Jacob also doesn't know the history.
So we have a little bit more information. Obviously, Jonathan is up on the block with Hope. Now, the basics of how this vote is breaking down is that the Girly Pops are 3 votes, the Shady Bunch are 3 votes, and then Santina is the swing vote in the middle with 7 votes total. So if the Shady Bunch and the Girly Pops go in different directions between Hope and Jonathan, Santina would be the deciding factor. However, at this time, it appears that both the Girly Pops and at least Kuzi and Anika are on board with keeping Jonathan. Now, this is a recent thing. The day before, it seemed like Kuzi might be siding more on the side of keeping Hope around, but the most recent update is that she is on board with taking Hope out and keeping Jonathan. That's, in my opinion, the most likely thing to stick because it would take a lot of work to make sure that Jonathan left. It would mean convincing Santina to stay on board to keep out Jonathan, which is not impossible because Santina is actually of the opinion that taking Jonathan out is better for her game and keeping Hope around is what is best. However, she feels bad about it. And if Jonathan tells her he wants her to, she will vote for him to stay. However, he is not telling her that he wants her to. He does not want to pressure her, and he is fine with leaving if that is what's going to happen. So that's where we kind of currently stand. But the basics of all of that is that I do believe that Jonathan will be staying this week as of right now. And on top of that, pretty much the entire house plans to put Ty on the block next week to target him, including Claudia, at least what she says. Would Claudia actually do it? If it's a double, maybe. But if it's a full week, I really doubt it. And then Renee also could, maybe not do it because I think she feels like she's still holding a grudge. She was very upset about the crying at the veto ceremony and feels like Kuzi, Anika, and Daniel were really trying to get her out with all that pushing to not use the veto. And so I have a feeling that if she can help it, she might try and take a shot at Kuzi. But I mean, she's the person that needs to deal with Ty the most. So that's a little tricky here or there. Either way, a lot of people targeting Ty, some people targeting Kuzi, and Santina and Renee still a little bit in the mix in terms of targets. So that's kind of where we stand.
Taran, were they saying like they're thinking about putting up Ty and Kuzi on the block?
That's what the Girly
Renee?
Pops were saying a couple of days ago. They were saying Ty and Kuzi as the 2 people up in the block, and then like either one of them could go essentially, with Ty being more dangerous. They were talking about Ty leaving. Now, the thing about that, the Girly Pops targeting Ty is that, again, it doesn't super make sense, except for the fact that Ty just continues to alienate them. Like, this is another one of those situations where it's like, this is like Ty targeting Dan S. It was like so dumb for no reason. And all it takes is for Ty to realize he should stop doing it, and he might stop doing it. The same is true with him targeting Renee. Like, all it takes is for him to realize, wait a minute, I should just align myself with the women actually, and I'll be in a much better position. But he just hasn't seen that. And as long as he doesn't, then everything's fine. But if he does, that could be dangerous. And it's going to be harder for him to if the women are not, if they're targeting him.
And nobody's talked about Santina either. So is she just under the radar now, or what's happening? Do we know?
So yeah, it's tricky because Santina's safe this week, and now it's become clear that there's kind of like 2 sides of the house between the Girly Pops and the Shady Bunch. with everyone targeting Ty. I still think Santina is in some danger. I think that she's an easy kind of like, if you don't want to, take the first shots, you could go over to Santina. But I think she may actually squeeze by for a couple of weeks here, with Kuzi and Ty being big targets, with Renee still being out there. Between those three, it gives Santina a lot of cover, and she very clearly doesn't have many allies, which is a very valuable thing. That said, her and Jonathan, they don't move in the way that like Kuzi does, right? So like, or the Shady Bunch. So they're kind of in the good position that the Shady Bunch was in last week, and that the Girly Pops were in the week before that. But we saw the Girly Pops also didn't really move in that way. They kind of just let it go. The Shady Bunch took over, and then the Shady Bunch didn't let it go, but it kind of got ripped out of their hands by Canada and a couple of things that happened, unfortunately for them. And now it's in the hands of Jonathan and Santina, who are mostly just like loyal players who like stick to each other. I think Jonathan will pull Santina toward the Shady Bunch to replace Hope in the crown. And then, where does that put them? Do they obviously align with them and then become targets as bigger names within that group? Or do they actually slide by? That's yet to be seen. And there's obviously a lot to see about what will happen with this vote and all of that.
And Santina's gonna win HOH. It's what she does.
Perhaps. So they're all anticipating a double, and they really want to get Ty out in a double if possible. It doesn't seem like there is one. I feel like we would have heard by now. So they are again going to be unpleasantly surprised by the fact that there's not a double. But I do think that, again, most people will likely target Ty. I would be worried for Kuzi as well. I think moving forward, that's kind of the direction. It's still like the structure of the house is still very loose. It's like the Girly Pops, you got the Shady Bunch. Now you have Jonathan and Santina connected to the Shady Bunch very, very strongly with the crown. And then you have Ty, who is just literally everyone hates him. But he thinks he's in with the Shady Bunch, and he's targeting Renee and Santina. But it doesn't matter because he can't compete.
Go off. Yeah. I don't like Ty.
Yeah.
So what does Jonathan do if he wins HOH?
Ty.
And who else?
He'd probably do Ty and like Renee or something.
Renee?
I would imagine.
Or
maybe even Ty and like Shanaya. Like
Shanaya.
you use that veto,
I was
put me up on the
thinking.
block.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be impossible that he puts up Claudia, but he has more of a relationship with Claudia than he does Renee and Shanaya, so that makes a little less sense. I don't think he puts up Santina, and I don't think he puts up anybody in the crown, so I think it would have to be Renee or Shanaya.
Yeah.
And then I think that, and then again, it's like, do you vote out Ty or do you take out one of those Girly Pops? I think they probably vote out Ty at that point because I don't think Jonathan wavers. And then hopefully if Jonathan does that, if you're a Shady Bunch, you're like, perfect. Jonathan just took out Ty for us, and he pissed off the Girly Pops in the process. Now it looks like Jonathan and Santina run this show, and hopefully the Girly Pops focus on them before they focus on us because we're less threatening. So that could be a good scenario for Kuzi and the Shady Bunch.
That could be fun.
Great point Bill has in the chat. After tomorrow night, we'll have 6 women and 3 men remaining. If we accidentally get down to all of the women,
Survivor could never. Well, modern Survivor could never.
If Ty leaves, I mean,
imagine.
Yeah, just quickly thinking. I don't remember a season with a gender divide split as much as 6-2 at the final 8. I know BB6 was pretty close, probably. But I think that could be record setting potentially.
Oh,
that would be so interesting. By hook or by crook, these women hated each other, and they still get down to it's like a reverse cookout. They targeted each other. They don't like each other, but they still all got down to
And the no feeds of it all. Wow. You would really hate to see it, but also love to see it.
Oops, all
All right. Well, let's see how it all plays out. That's what we have for you tonight. We will be back, of course, tomorrow night after the eviction, where we will probably see Hope leave, but it is definitely not set in stone at this point in time. We could lose Jonathan. And I will say this, that first of all, the kick your feet up curse came true. Jonathan was told to kick his feet up. He is now on the block. Second, the Canada saves curse could also be in play, because we know that Jonathan is Canada's number one, or at least close to it, right? By saving Santina, Jonathan being voted out would be par for the course for a Canada saves twist. So you have to watch out for that curse as well. Just pointing it out. So we'll see how all of that goes. Again, come hang out with us in Toronto. Check out robhasawebsite.com/Toronto. You can find me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, hanging out, watching these episodes live with all of you. I just dropped the final Among Us video over on YouTube, where I played some clips from when I was playing a little game called Sequester, because I finally got redemption in a game of Among Us. So we go over the Sequester game that I played with Amon, which is very fun in that video. Check it out. And that's about what I've got here. I've got a Survivor Stockwatch podcast coming up as well, if you want to hear me talk about this week's Survivor episode. Kirsten, what have you got going on?
Yeah, so next week is the 52nd Mess Magnets. So Sasha and I are doing an Mess Magnets awards show where we're going to be talking about all the stories we've covered over the past year, the best, the worst, all of that. So listen to Mess Magnets, and also go follow us on Twitter at Mess Magnets, because we're going to be putting up a ton of polls for people to vote in for who's going to win the best in mess this year. As well, you can listen to BoJack Horsepod, where Lindsay Wilson and I are breaking down Tuca and Birdie. And you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What.
Congratulations on that too, by the way.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks, Jacob.
flew by that year.
It did fly by.
Wait, 50. Oh my gosh. I'm so literally. I need.
Jacob sitting here like, man, you guys missed 50, huh? You just.
We need to release Jacob and set him free from this podcast.
My contacts are drying up. But no, that's really, it's been a year. Wow. Oh my gosh. Is it a year? Like when?
Well, it would have been this week, but we did miss 1 week during the year, so we're pretending that didn't happen, and that next week is the 1 year.
Well, congrats. I mean, hell, damn.
I know. It's wild.
Good stuff. Mari, what do you got going on?
The Wrestling Wrap Up podcast is on a hiatus right now, but still follow us on Twitter at Wrestling Wrap Up, so you know when me and Matt Scott will be back to bring you the highlights of the weekend wrestling. Of course, every Tuesday, me and Sarah Carradine are bringing True Crime Tuesdays to RHAP with the Crime Scene podcast. We just dropped a really fun episode with Mark Blankenship, another podcaster. We watched Jared from Subway, the 3-part docuseries on ID Discovery. Woo, it was bad. So just go listen to us talk about it and don't waste your time on that. So you can go to robhasawebsite.com/crime feed in order to listen to that. Of course, over on post show recaps, me, Chappelle, and Latanya Starks are chilling on the Connect, and we are bringing you snowfall coverage, swarm coverage, and just connecting you to Prestige Black TV. So you can follow us over there at postshowrecaps.com/connect. And then, of course, please follow me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much. It's 2 like the number 2. And follow me at twitch.tv/Mari Talks Too Much. So I've been experimenting, doing different streams and stuff. So if you follow me, you'll know when I go live. I've been having some fun over there. That's it.
Awesome. Jacob, the finger of the people.
Yeah, I was just biting it because my nail a little cracked right now. I'm like, gosh. I am honestly, I'm just over here chilling, enjoying life. You know what you should put on YouTube, baby boy? You should put it on, and I've been telling you this, I feel like for so long, and you edged me on to like, oh yeah, I may do this. Yeah. But no, I just be chilling. But you should put those on YouTube. Those are really good. But yeah, you can follow me at JacobJ_Jones. And
Yeah, if you enjoyed Jacob on this podcast, you can find him fairly regularly over on my Twitch stream, hanging out.
we haven't done one since the Big Brother season.
Yeah, a little bit of a hiatus here for Big Brother, but I'm sure we'll be back at some point soon.
Let me talk about all the juicy topics that you want to know about.
That kind of sounds like his Claudia impression, hey?
Yeah.
I thought straight up that was his Claudia.
Wait,
impression.
no, that was supposed to be much more like sexy and sultry and like much more like, yeah, come on. I don't know. Right, yeah.
I'm still waiting for one of y'all to send me a bidet. Like, I want a bidet. I want to be a part of the bidet club.
Well, Taran.
We're not special like Taran and Jacob.
No,
Clearly.
Taran has a responsibility, and
Yeah, we won't rest
Mari-
until Taran
Mari-
sends every Big Brother updater.
Hit me up. Hit me up. You're getting a bidet.
Yes.
It is. Wait. So Taran prefaced the bidet. He said, "Hey, this is the baby bidet, but then you upgrade from the baby bidet to like
Yes.
da-da-da." I've upgraded.
Oh,
Ooh.
there you go.
But when I took, this is nasty. Oh, all right.
You know what? I think that we should all maybe stop and the podcast. Be gone from this cursed place.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you have your own bidet, because if not, you're not doing it right. And I will leave you with that. Thank you so much. We will see all of you next time.